was spoken many millions of years ago to Sun God. The Sun God in the present times, who is ruling this whole universe, is known as Vivaswan. And this knowledge was given to Sun God. Sun God gave it to his son Manu, and Manu in turn transferred this knowledge to his son Ikshvaku. Like this, the whole human society was having this wonderful understanding of the knowledge of science of Krishna. But what happened is that the influence of time made this knowledge, or it seemed that knowledge appears to be lost, in the sense that the proper understanding of knowledge, the spirit of knowledge was lost. So Krishna felt a need to again revive this knowledge by instructing this knowledge to Arjuna. And Arjuna happened to be his dear friend, also a devotee. So Krishna chose him to be the recipient of this knowledge. This knowledge, Krishna himself says, is a mysterious knowledge. Rahasya Jnanam. Right? It's a transcendental mystery. And when Krishna said this much, Arjuna was a little astonished that Krishna, both of us are contemporaries. How can I believe you that you have given this knowledge to Sun God? Both of us are almost born at the same time. So what is Krishna mentioned? Now Krishna started explaining the difference between an ordinary person and God. The first difference he mentions is that Krishna is a transcendental personality who can remember many, many millions of incarnations which he had. Every activity, what he had earlier in various previous incarnations, he can remember. Whereas we limited living entities cannot even remember what we did yesterday at the same time. That is our limitation. And Krishna's personality is such that, Prabhupada explains, his body is Satchidananda. Satchidananda means eternal, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. That is his existence. That is his body. His body is, looks like ours, but it is not having the material, sort of a qualities. They're having transcendental qualities. So what are those transcendental qualities? Krishna explains next by telling that it's like both of us, Krishna and living entities, are unborn as spirit souls. But Krishna is supreme spirit soul, right? And he is the master of all living entities, whereas we are all subordinate to him. And when he descends, he comes in his own spiritual nature. That is the meaning of avatara. One who descends from spiritual realm to the material world for the purpose of many, many activities, which Krishna describes in the next coming verses. Right? So this is Krishna's special, this peculiarity of his birth, Prabhupada says. Peculiarity of his birth is that he is not born like us. He appears out of his own sweet will, and he is not subject to the laws of karma like we are subjected to. In our case, we are all born because of our own previous karmas. Krishna's birth is not like that. He is completely transcendental. That is the understanding. And Krishna also explains in verse number 7 the reason for his appearance. He says, whenever there is decline in religious practices, yada yada hi dharmasya glani, when there is decline in religious practice, in order to re-establish the dharmic principles, I incarnate, or I descend again and again. Krishna mentions this, right? So this is the reason for Krishna's descent. Next, we will continue our discussions from verse number 8, very famous verse again. You can refer the book. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Okay. Krishna says, he's specifically telling the three purposes of his descent. First purpose is to deliver the pious. Paritranaya sadhuna. To protect his devotees and to annihilate the demons, to destroy, kill the demons, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. He again and again descends. We understood in our previous session that dharma basically means the constitutional activity of the soul. Atma has its duty to perform. It's like every part of our body, the duty of every part of our body is to serve the body. So if one of the parts is not functioning or not serving the body, we rush to the doctor for getting a treatment. So we, as part and parcel of Krishna, our natural situation is supposed to be serving Krishna. Right now, that service to Krishna is diverted, distracted to so many things in the material world, because of which we are all going through different sufferings, miseries, and repeated cycle of birth and death. That is the problem. That is called dharmasya glani. And in the name of doing so many activities, we have created communities, families, nations, and so many things like that. Prabhupada says so many isms we have created. Socialism, communism, that, this, and all, nationalism. And we are just absorbed in that and forgetting ourselves. That is called dharmasya glani. When this is happening, Krishna, either he comes personally or sends his representatives time and again, Sambhavami yuge yuge. Yuge yuge means every millennium. So there are so many, it's like a cycle of 4 yugas are there. And even in one yuga also, whenever there is requirement, Krishna comes. Whenever there is disturbance in the religious practices, dharmic practices, Krishna comes. Dharma again should not be misunderstood as some sentiment. It is a whole set of rules, regulations, which every human being is supposed to be following to deliver himself from these conditions of repeated birth and death. Right? So here Prabhupada explains very nicely what is the meaning of the word sadhu. Krishna says paritranaya sadhuna. Sadhu, Prabhupada says, a person who is actually Krishna conscious, or one who is a devotee of Krishna, he is a sadhu. Externally, he may have whatever appearance he has, or he may even look irreligious from somebody's point of view by looks. But if he is practicing Krishna consciousness wholly and fully, Prabhupada says he is to be considered as a sadhu. Right? One more context, Krishna explains sadhu means that he is apichet sudacharo bhajate mam ananyava sadhu revasa mantavya. So bhajate mam ananya bhak means he's 24 hours constantly engaged in bhajana, thinking of Krishna, worshipping Krishna. That is sadhu. So such devotees, Krishna is coming personally to deliver them. And dushkritina, dushkritam means Krishna uses this word dushkritam, dushkritina later also. He says there are 4 types of dushkritina: miscreants, people who have their talent or their intelligence is being misused for so many nefarious activities, for so many wrong things. They are called dushkritina, mischievous activities. Right? So there are 4 types, Krishna explains later on. One who is naradhama, lowest of mankind. Human form is meant for understanding the purpose of the human life, to liberate ourselves. But again, getting entangled and forgetting the prime duty, they are called naradhamas. Mudhas. Mudhas means fools, who's simply working hard. Bhagavatam compares mudhas to be like asses, donkeys, who carries tons of loads of the laundry for the washerman, just for a morsel of grass. Likewise, we also go on working whole life But what for you are working, why you are working, no questions asked. So Mudha, Naradhama, and our real knowledge has been stolen away by Maya. Maya apahrita gyan. Right? We go on doing so much research, philosophical understanding. We develop different types of so many philosophies. Like this, we go on in our life, forgetting the real purpose of it. Right? And fourthly, completely, there are a class of people who are completely atheistic, demoniac nature. So, Asura Bhava. So these are the four types of people who are categorized as Dushkritina. Dushkritina means miscreants or mischievous people. Krishna is going to come and kill or destroy such people. In fact, Krishna's killing also is good, because when somebody is killed by Krishna, they get delivered. That's why all the pastimes of Krishna, it is not mentioned as killing, it is mentioned as deliverance, liberation. Liberation of this demon, liberation of that demon. As Krishna touches means liberate. Very fortunate. It is said in Kurukshetra war, all the different soldiers and various kings who all left their bodies during the course of fight, because Krishna was personally present, all of them got liberation. Just in presence of Krishna, they all left their bodies. Very fortunate. Because in presence of Krishna, you're seeing Krishna and leaving the body. That is the perfection of life. Antakalecha mameva. Somehow, Antakala, you can see Krishna and leave the body. Oh, that is perfection. That is what the human life is meant for. If you don't do this, then what life you'll get next? No guarantee. So, here, very nicely, Prabhupada explains, with regard to this avatara incarnation we have been discussing. Prabhupada is quoting from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Avatara is not something which is self-made or voted for, or this person has become avatara. Or no, it is concocted, manufactured. No. Avatara or incarnation of God, he descends from the kingdom of God. Right? Where from he descends? From spiritual kingdom. He descends. And this avatara is actually is situated in the spiritual world, spiritual realm, right? When they when they descend for a specific purpose, Krishna and Krishna's various incarnations, that is known as avatara. So avatara word is not a simple word. It has a lot of meaning behind it. The spiritual world, Lord descends. Either he personally comes or he, one of his expansions, come down. They are called an avatar. Scriptures explain there are 6 types of avatars. Purusha avatara. Avatara which is meant for creating this material world. The 3 types of Vishnus, they are called Purusha avataras. The Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, and the Paramatma Vishnu. They are called Purusha avataras. And there are Guna avataras. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. Right? Vishnu in the mode of goodness, Brahma in the mode of passion, Rajoguna, and Shiva in the mode of ignorance, Tamoguna. Guna avataras. And there are Leela avataras. Just like Narasimha avatara, Leela avatara, Kurma avatara, Varaha avatara, Matsya avatara. For different Leelas they descend. There's one more category known as Shaktya-vesha avatara. Shaktya-vesha means Krishna empowers a specific personality. He invests all powers in that personality. Just like Vyasadeva is considered to be a Shaktya-vesha avatar. Parashurama is considered to be Shaktya-vesha avatar. Right? Narada Muni, Shaktya-vesha avatar, is invested with the power of bhakti. Shaktya-vesha avatar, right? And there is one more category of avatars called Manvantara avatars. During the day of Brahma, one day of Brahma, there are 1,000 cycles of 4 yugas, right? Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. 1,000 cycles is 1 day, 12 hours. During this time, there are 14 manus coming and going. If you divide 1,000 by 14, you'll get roughly 71 cycles for every manu. Okay. So 71 in one set of 71 cycles, one manu comes and goes. So right now, in that way, we are going through what is known as the seventh manu, which is known as Vaivasvata manu, our present time. Seventh manu means 6 cycles are finished. Seventh manus, 71 cycles are going on. In the 71 cycles, 28th cycle is going on actually. 7th manus, 28th cycle, Kali Yuga is going on. This is a specific time period right now. Okay. So this is our time. So this manu of our present time is called Vaivasvata manu. That is a manu. His father is sun god, Vivaswan. Okay. So like this, Manvantara avatars happen. And there are Yuga avatars. Just like Lord Rama came in Treta Yuga. And in Satya Yuga, Kapila Muni came. Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna himself descended. Particular Yuga. And present Kali Yuga, Krishna appeared as his devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Krishna is supposed to kill, he'll do these 3 activities. Protect devotees, kill demons, and establish dharma. 3 activities he is supposed to do. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if he is supposed to do these activities, actually no devotees, only demons in Kali Yuga. All are demons. All are fallen so much, doing all adharma everywhere. So everybody should have been killed. But this avatara is a very special avatara. Very merciful avatar. The most merciful avatar. Called Mahavadanyaya avatara. He is so merciful that his avatara is not killing you, but killing your demoniac mentality. Just see. And he's killing your demoniac mentality. How? By one more incarnation of Krishna in the holy name. See, Krishna can come in any form. He can come as a person. He can come as a sound. Nama avatara. Kali kale nama rupa Krishna avatara. Right? Krishna can come anyway. Even the deity form is called Archa avatara. Prasadam is also avatara of Krishna. Mercy. He comes in that form. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam is the avatar of Krishna's intelligence. Shabda, it is Bhagavata avatara. So Krishna can come in different avatara means, avatara's main purpose is what? To deliver the conditioned souls from this suffering material world, to take them back to spiritual world. So any such incarnations as holy name, Lord as deity form, as prasadam, as books, like this Krishna appears in different ways to deliver all of us. See how much merciful Krishna is. So this is the special aspect of avatars, that Krishna is just coming to deliver all of us. And specifically Prabhupada explains here that Krishna actually comes to deliver only his devotees. But killing, in one sense, is side business for him. He doesn't come to kill. For killing, he doesn't need to come. But to protect his devotees, because his love towards his devotees is so much, he wants to simply deliver his devotees. That is the point. So, that is Krishna's special favor. So like this, Krishna's various activities are going on continuously. It's called Nitya Leela. Very nicely, Prabhupada explains from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna's Leelas are going on eternally in Goloka Vrindavana and in the material universes also. Scriptures describe material world totally is around 1/4 of the total creation of Lord. 25%. Ekapada Vibhuti it is called. And 1/4 also is not easy to estimate how big it is. Okay, our universe is very smallest universe. There are many, many universes much bigger than ours. And like this, there are countless universes in this material world. In every universe, there is a Brahma, there is Shiva, so many other devatas, and all the different management happens everywhere. That is how this whole material world is. And Krishna is continuously having leelas in different universes. Just like it is very clearly mentioned in the scriptures, Krishna comes once in a day of Brahma, personally. That is on the 7th Manvantara, 28th cycles, Dwapar Yuga, towards the end he comes. That is a specific time for Krishna to come. Only once in a day, which means from our times, from our perspective, Krishna has come recently, 5,000 years ago. Very recently he has come. Just 5,000 years old. I'm sorry. Again, he'll come only next day. In terms, how many millions of years have to go. Just see. Very fortunate. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also comes once in a day of Brahma only. Very fortunate we are in that way. So, Krishna has come, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come, and Krishna's leelas are going on like this, Nitya Leela. Very nice example is given. It's like, now it is 7:43 p.m. In India. Maybe in America, it will be maybe 12 hours difference will be there. It is 7:40 a.m. Right? Somewhere in the European country, it will be around 1:40 p.m. Right? Or if you move towards further Japan, Australia, it will be again different time scale. Right? So basically, the same sun will be going on like this in different places based on the position of the earth. Likewise, very nice example which Prabhupada gives is the sun, like the sun is moving slowly, and for in our case, right now sun is not in our vision, but somewhere sun is there. In America, sun is there. If you call your one of your friends or relatives, they'll say, yes, this morning, early morning, I can see sunshine. Or in Europe, somebody says, like, sun is on top of my head. Right? So likewise, Krishna's leelas, starting from his birth, Putana Vadha, then other Asura Vadha, all is going on eternally in different parts of the universe. Time. So Krishna comes and stays for 125 years in any universe. It's all mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita very nicely. So like this, Nitya Leela is going. That is why Nitya Leela means it's going on somewhere in some part of the universe. This further I'm going to explain in the next verse. Some connection is there. That's why I'm telling you all these things. So Krishna's Leela is going on Nitya Leela. In Golok Vrindavan, it is anyway Nitya Leela going on. Even in the material universe, in different universes, based on Krishna, like this, I told you, Brahma's day, once in a day he comes and goes. In that time, he has performed Leelas and is gone to some other universe. Okay. This is how Krishna's Leelas are going on. And why he comes? He comes to deliver all of us. Not only Krishna comes, he comes in different various other incarnations. We mentioned 6 types of incarnations. Purusha Avatara, Guna Avatara, Leela Avatara, right? Manvantara Avatara, Shaktavesha Avatara, like this. And he also sends his representatives. Just like Jesus Christ, Son of God, Muhammad Prophet, servant of God. They're all representatives of Krishna. Prabhupada is considered to be Shaktavesha Avatara. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, he is commander-in-chief of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's army. That is the predictions mentioned in scriptures. So like this, various empowered personalities are sent for specific reasons, specific purposes, every now and then, just for the purpose of deliverance of all of us. Otherwise, see, we are all forgotten what we are supposed to be doing. That is what is the mission of Krishna. We keep forgetting the purpose of our life. Right? So let's go to the next verse now. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. Very nice verse. Krishna is telling, one who understands or one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities. Janma karma chame divyam. Divya means transcendental, spiritual. My activities, my birth are all not ordinary. We understood how it is not ordinary. From verse number 6 onwards, 5 onwards, Krishna has been explaining. I can remember all my past appearances, my activities. I don't appear like you under karma, laws of karma. My appearance is completely spiritual. Krishna was explaining. Right? His appearance, his activities are all supernatural. They're all divya. They're all transcendental. Anybody who simply understands them, evam yo veti tattvataha, understands them factually, Krishna says, it does not take birth again in this material world after leaving this body. What will happen to him? He will go back to spiritual world. Basically, Krishna is talking about transmigration of the soul in this verse. We have heard about transmigration in which chapter? Second chapter, 13th verse. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhirastatra namuhyati. Krishna says, an embodied soul is going through continuously from childhood to boyhood, boyhood to youthhood, youthhood to old age. And like this, the soul is transmigrating from one body to another, whereas a person who is sober is not bewildered by such a change, Krishna says. Transmigration of the soul. Migration. It's like you migrate from one country to another country. Your body, this soul is migrating from one body to another body. Actually, the body what you had in your childhood is no more there. You have come to a different body now. Right? So like this, we are being transmigrating continuously. At the time when this body becomes useless, you transmigrate to one more body. So Krishna is giving us a secret here. This is a very important verse in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada often quotes this verse. The secret Krishna is mentioning here is, if you understand him, if you understand Krishna's birth, Krishna's activities, Krishna's philosophy, that's all. There is no more, one more transmigration to you in this material world. You will go back to spiritual world. That is the secret Krishna is mentioning. Just see. Transmigration, which otherwise people don't know what is going to happen after death. They're all blank. Prabhupada was in MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, America, in 1968. He was telling, your college has, your university has so many departments of knowledge. But there is no department in your college, university, which can teach about the science of the soul. You have different departments, but where is that department to teach about the knowledge about transmigration of the soul? That is the defect of modern day education, modern day type of living. People are unaware about the soul. What is going to happen? What is next? No, everybody is ignorance. They think this life is everything. Right? We're all going through a the atheistic type of a life. After this life is over, everything is over. This is a very wrong understanding. Right? So Krishna is very clearly telling, you have to go through journey of your life, life after life, unless and until you prepare yourself to go back to spiritual world by understanding about Krishna. So our liberation has been made very simple by Krishna. Just understanding about him, knowing about him. That's all. Right? So Prabhupada says, devotee simply by understanding the transcendental nature of the body, activities of the Lord, attains the abode of the Lord after ending the body and does not run the risk of returning again to the material world. That is the advantage. So this is the secret Krishna is revealing here, that Krishna has been going on continuously appearing and performing pastimes just to remind us, just to give us the subject matter. Oh, this is what I did. You please understand this. You know this because all of us have the tendency to know something about other persons, right? About what happened, history, what is going on in the world around now, news now, right? Like this, we all want to know so many things, what is going on. But all these things are subject matters which are concerning only about temporary things, matter. So when Krishna's activities happen, when Krishna Leela happens, when Krishna appears, those activities are recorded in scriptures, which are all actually having spiritual quality, transcendental quality. So Prabhupada says, I would strongly recommend also, Prabhupada is mentioning, just read my Krishna book. There's a book by name Krishna book. Prabhupada's book. Prabhupada's written the Krishna's pastimes in a nice book. 90 chapters are there. All stories. They're all from Bhagavatam. Just every day read one chapter and go on reading throughout your life. Enough. You will be liberated. Prabhupada says. Just read my Krishna book because there Krishna's pastimes are there. It may look like as though some nice, wonderful stories, but they're all transcendental activities of Krishna. That's what Krishna is telling us here. One who can understand or one who can know my birth, how Krishna was born, why he was transferred from Mathura jail, Kamsa's jail to Gokula, how Krishna killed the demons. This much you have to know, that's all. Your mind should be filled with those activities. Then that is the way for you to come out of this cycle of birth and death. And one more thing which Prabhupada reveals in this context is that when Krishna says, after leaving this world, you will go to Krishna, it means that you will be born in a universe, in this material world, where Krishna is performing his Leela. When you are perfected, when you perfect your devotional service by understanding Krishna, by knowing Krishna properly, actually even chanting Hare Krishna is knowing Krishna. When you chant and hear, you are knowing Krishna. Hearing is knowing. Okay. So when you are become perfect in your spiritual life, you will be transferred to an appropriate universe to be born in the womb of a gopi. And you'll be born in a specific universe where Krishna Leela is going on. And there you'll participate in Krishna Leela. And further you'll get trained to further, perform spiritual activities. And then you will be transferred to spiritual world. That is the description given in scriptures. As I told you, Nitya Leela is going on all over the creation. So somewhere in one universe where there is Krishna Leela going on, you'll be born. Right? Just like a nice example is given. There were many sages during the time of Lord Ramachandra performing austerities in Dandakaranya. Right? Heard of Dandakaranya, no? Right? So when Ramachandra was in exile, Vanavasa, they were all performing austerities to attain Krishna, rather attain Ramachandra. So somehow it is mentioned that these sages wanted to relate with Krishna in a conjugal relationship. Madhurya Rasa. Lord Ramachandra said, see, I have taken a vow of Ekapatni Vratastha, Ekapatni Vrata. One wife in this Leela. Next life, I'll be born, rather I'm going to appear as Krishna. That time I'm going to satisfy you, all your desires of Madhurya Rasa. Right? So they were again, all these sages took birth in again Dwapar Yuga, and they all appeared as gopis. So which means this pastime gives this is all explained in Prabhupada's books only. Prabhupada says, even to associate with Krishna as gopis You have to perform so much austerities. Not easily, somebody can become gopi. No. Right? So many years, so many lifetimes of austerities had to be performed. Coming to that elevated stage is not easy. That is the point. So, our human life is meant to perform devotion, understand Krishna, know Krishna, and perfect our lives. And by doing this, what happens? You will not be again born in the material world. Krishna assures you will go back to spiritual world. You will come back to me, Krishna says. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti. Very important verse. Punarjanma is going on otherwise. If you don't want punarjanma, the only way is to perform devotion to Krishna. Know Krishna. Krishna says, by doing this, you'll come to me. That's all. Next verse number 10. Vita raga bhaya krodha manmaya mam upashita bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavam agataha. So, in continuation of the previous verse, Krishna mentioned how just understanding him, knowing him properly, nicely, you will not take birth again. Here, Krishna is giving us a further understanding. To know him, what all qualifications you need. Right? Because Krishna says, you have to develop what is known as madbhava. Madbhava means, Prabhupada explains, transcendental love for Krishna. There's a nice statement later on Krishna explains. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samannita. Bhava means you are connected with emotional feelings. Completely, your loving feelings with Krishna. So, Prabhupada explains, knowing Krishna simply as a great person, wonderful person is not enough. We have to know the details of his greatness, the various facets of his greatness. Then your knowledge of Krishna will further have better understanding. Will have more attraction towards Krishna. Simply superficially knowing it doesn't help. That's what Prabhupada wants to tell us here. So basically, there are a few aspects which Krishna is mentioning here in this verse, that in order to develop this understanding of Krishna, understanding, what type of understanding? Very intimate understanding, very close understanding. Madbhavam, transcendental, loving understanding of Krishna. Then, for that, you are supposed to be purified. Putaha. How will you be purified? When your actions are like this. Vita raga bhaya krodha. You are freed from attachment, fear, and anger. Krishna is telling, presently, we have so many attachments. Right? I'm attached to eating this, I'm attached to doing this, I'm attached to seeing this. So many attachment basically means desires, personal sense gratification desires. What is the recommendation given by Acharyas? Give up all desires, make all desires zero. Anya avilashita shunyam. Right now we are full of desires. Just it will touch you only. And every day, newspapers, television, internet, mobiles are bombarding you with more and more new desires. This also is good, this also is good, this also is. Very nice, very wonderful. Go on enjoying life. So, Vita Raga means free from all material desires. And when material desires are not satisfied, you become angry. And there is little problem in satisfaction of your material desires, then you are fearful. Right? A beautiful philosophical explanation Prabhupada gives further. I will not get into those details. I request all of you to read the purport nicely. But I'm just trying to tell you, developing attachment to Krishna and maintaining our material attachment also doesn't go well together. Just like you mix oil and water. Can you mix them? No, they always remain separate. So, devotional service. If you are developing devotional service means bhakti paresha anubhava virakti anyatrasya. Bhagavatam says that if you are developing bhakti means you are supposed to develop virakti. Just like Krishna is saying, Vita Raga. All your passions, all your desires, personal motivated desires kept aside. Then what happens? What you should do? Manmaya. You should always absorb your mind in me. Manmana bhava madbhakto. Krishna is repeating this again and again. So absorbing your mind in me, taking shelter of me, or being situated in me always, which means working for Krishna, thinking for Krishna, acting for Krishna. Like this, if you go on doing bahavo jnana tapasa, many people in the past, by doing all these things, by doing all these wonderful activities of absorbing themselves in me, by proper understanding jnana and tapasya, because absorbing yourself in Krishna is not easy. I'll give a simple example. Chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhupada gives a simple vidhi, rule. When you are chanting Hare Krishna, try to hear each and every word you are chanting. Not easy. Because when you are chanting, sometime you may be hearing. After that, your mind starts thinking. Thought processing starts. Chanting is going on, but parallelly, some thinking is going. Some film is running in the head. Yesterday that happened, today this will happen, tomorrow something will happen. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna is also going on. One nice background music is going on in your mind. That is what is happening, right? So, freeing your mind not to think of anything while chanting is a tapasya. So Prabhupada says, chant Hare Krishna and exactly the same sound you hear. This is a tapasya. Simple tapasya. Now, Prabhupada says very simple, but you have to sincerely follow. So when you do this, what happens? Actually, you are putting yourself, your soul, in the fire of Satchidananda Krishna Nama. When you place iron rod in the fire for a considerable time, what happens? It becomes red hot. Right? If you simply put for some time, take it out, sometime, that's what is going on now. Sometime Hare Krishna, no thinking, only Krishna, Krishna. After some time, suddenly some other thought comes. It's like that only. Sometime put the iron rod in fire, take it out, take it out. What will happen? It will become red hot. How much time it will take? It will never become red hot. Our chanting has become like that now. Right? You're chanting, but you're not hearing. You may be hearing, but it is broken hearing, interrupted hearing. Krishna wants uninterrupted hearing, unbroken hearing. So whether you want to offer broken, interrupted bhakti or uninterrupted, unbroken bhakti, what do you want to offer? Krishna very clearly says in 8th chapter, it's a very nice verse, very interesting verse. When I read that first time many years ago, it's always stuck in my mind. It is a verse in 8th chapter, verse number 14. Krishna says, Ananya cheta satatam Yomam smarati nityasaha tasyaham sulabha partha nitya yuktasya yoginaha. Krishna says, Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarati nityasaha. When chanting, if your mind is ananya cheta means without deviation, you are just remembering Krishna only. Krishna says, for such a person, tasyaham sulabha partha, I am very easy to obtain. If your chanting is not ananya cheta, it's all interrupted chanting, then getting Krishna is not easy, difficult. Very simple. Right? So this is tapasya. To come to the stage of madbhavam, as Krishna is saying, man maya mamupashita madbhava. Because when you are putting yourself in the fire of Krishna's holy name, then only you will be purified. Puta means purification has to happen. Right? Otherwise, this contamination, material desires, our chittam means our subtle mind is full of desires. So many desires from millions of lives, disturbing you, distracting you, taking you here and there, here and there. So coming to this level is what Krishna expects us to do. For this, very nicely Prabhupada explains, there is a nice devotional process recommended by Rupa Goswami for us in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. A step-by-step process. The 9 steps are there. Right? You have to begin with little faith, Shraddha. Ado Shraddha. Shraddha means strong determination that yes, I will do this devotional service. I have strong faith that yes, this is what is the right path. Let me follow this. Ado Shraddha. To do that, you have to associate with sadhu sangha, step number 2. Right? You have to follow the instructions given by, you have to associate with sadhus. When you associate with sadhu means, we just now understood, the devotees of Krishna are called sadhu sangha. Third is, sadhus will give you instructions of how to do bhajana kriya, how to perform devotion, just like I've been telling you, how to chant, how to read Bhagavad Gita, what to follow, right? Shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya. Then when these 3 is going on, bhajana kriya means what to do in your everyday activity, devotional service. Anartha nivritti happens. Anartha nivritti means unwanted desires or so many anarthas, unwanted things sitting in our heart will start coming out and running away. Nivritti means purification happens slowly. Then you will develop nishtha. Nishtha means you'll become firmly fixed up. Then you develop ruchi, taste will come. Then asakti, you will feel attachment. Like this, step by step, you develop what is known as bhava. This is what Krishna is telling, is mad bhava. Bhava is just one step before prema. Okay. So, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava. This is the stage, step-by-step stage. This is what Prabhupada is recommending here. Right? So, if you have to be free from material attachment, freedom from fear, freedom from anger, then this is the only step, only way to be moving forward in our devotional service. Right? Step by step, when you subjecting yourself to devotional process like this, gradually you will reach the stage of bhava. So reaching bhava is not a process that tomorrow I'll get bhava. No, it's a process you subject yourself, and based on your seriousness and sincerity, Krishna also will be reciprocating, Prabhupada will reciprocating with you, and you'll move forward in your devotional service. That's the point. Okay. So Krishna is very nicely advising here or giving us wonderful instruction with regard to how to come to the stage of Mad Bhava. Is Bhava. Bhava means completely surcharged with feelings of devotion towards Krishna. Radharani is in the stage of Mahabhava. Okay, all gopis are in the stage of exalted position of bhava, ecstasy of devotion to Krishna. That level they are offering devotion to Krishna. Right? So their level of devotion is glorified by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the highest level of worship, of highest level of devotion offered to Krishna. Krishna himself mentioned he was so in one sense, Krishna had nothing to offer. Just like next verse, Krishna says, the way you surrender, I reciprocate. Krishna says, next verse. But with regard to gopis, their level of surrender was so great. Krishna had nothing to offer back. He had become bankrupt. Right? So much bankrupt that he told, please be satisfied with your devotion. Your devotion is so exalted. I am just purchased by you. That is the level of devotion of gopis. Right? So this is what this bhava stage is. And all the action, all the different activities, different various exchanges of feelings happens at this level in the spiritual realm with devotees. It is not an ordinary exchange of feelings. It's limited to this mundane level, mundane understanding. That's the point. So Krishna is giving us this transcendental knowledge of what is devotion, devotional exchange of feelings between Krishna and his devotees in this, very, very nice verses of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So we will conclude here. I think already it is 8:15 now. Before I conclude, or rather we stop. Any questions, any comments, clarifications?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Today's class was very, very absorbing, very nice. We enjoyed it today very much.
So I request all of you to go through the purports. Purports are even more absorbing. Okay. I just mentioned a few points, but all of you should read the purports. Very, very absorbing. Very, See, Bhagavad Gita is not simply as we think. Sometimes people have this perception. Very basic. What is there? Bhagavad Gita is everything. Actually, you carefully go through every verse. Prabhupada says, carefully study Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. Everything Krishna has mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Right? Yesterday I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna in Vrindavan, his incarnation is called Purnatama. So Lord is called Purna, complete, perfect personality. But even in that complete, perfect personality of Lord, he has different levels again. Right? It is said in Vaikuntha, Krishna exhibits this complete, perfect personality of Narayana. Whereas in Mathura and Dwaraka, he is Purna Tara. Just like we say, good, better, best. Like that, He is Purna Tara. And more Purna in Mathura and Dwaraka. In Vrindavan, Braj, he is Purna Tama, most perfect. Because in Vrindavan, he exhibits all his transcendental qualities. That's why the pastimes of Krishna with gopis, with his cowherd boys, is very sweet. There is a forest in Vrindavan, Braj area, called Belvan, out of 12 forests. Whenever you come next time, we'll all visit there. The pastime of this forest is that there, Lakshmi ji is doing tapasya. Why? Because she wanted to enter into the Rasalila of Krishna. but he stopped. No entry. Why? Because her bhava is Aishwarya bhava. Right? Opulence. Oh, veneration. Whereas the bhava of gopis is prema bhava, madhurya bhava. So she is performing austerities in Belvan. Belvan is basically a lot of bale trees, right? Performing austerities for many, millions of years now, just to get entry into Krishna's transcendental sweet pastimes. Right? Like this, there are so many wonderful things. And when Lakshmiji is performing such austerities, one day Radharani saw, sitting in the sun, very hot, different climates like this, varying climates, going through a lot of austerities. She told Krishna and all the Gopas, why don't you build a nice temple for her, shelter for her? So Krishna and all the cowherd boys built a nice place of shelter for her. So they can go on performing austerities. Like this, nice leelas are happening. There are 12 forests to visit in Vrindavan, Braj, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself visited all the forests. Vrindavan, Madhuvan, Mahavan, this is Kumudavan, like this Kamyavan. 12 forests are there. All of us should visit at least once in a lifetime.
Yes.
Okay. So all the various leelas happened in these various vanas. Just like we sing, Keshi Ghata, Bamshi Bata, Dwadasha Kanana, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. Right? We sing. So these are all various, wonderful opportunities which Krishna has given us to visit and absorb our minds in Krishna's various leelas. Okay, fine. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your cooperation today, for waiting until some time, because I got held up with some official. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.